can. But gotta try and get over that little bump in the road, you know? It might be a tough one, but they could definitely do it.
So this time around, it's the same bands and the same opening pick for 5 men. SAPPHIRE? Now Avenge this time. All right, I was just trying to, guess that they'd repeat.
And this is really cool because how many times have we seen this recently in games that we've cast where Avenge gets banned out against Viking second phase? So they know what they want. They know how they want to approach this. And let's see how they look to go into this. Because again, they have this last pick here just before the first phase. So they could, they could go for DOTA here if they wanted. They could go for like anything. Anything they like that maybe TB, they really fancy playing here as well.
Yeah, and I could even see like a Void coming in.
Yes, yeah.
I know that there have been a lot of teams that really favor that Void, and once you've got the swap out of the way of a potential Chronosphere getting, ruined, then you can go in on that Void, and I think you would have a pretty fun time. And even with that Lina, we talked about how Lina, good egg killer, or, for the Americas region people that watched me and Neff, egg scrambler.
No.
But,
No, that's not catching on.
It's gonna be thing, just like fetch. It'll be okay. You could still, I think, go with a Phoenix later down the line, or even go Phoenix here, and hope the Void doesn't get banned. But like, I feel like if you're gonna go Void, it has to happen now. And there's the Medusa, and we talked about how the Medusa is a very Viking GG pick, right?
I like that they go for this just straight off the bat, because now they have 3 bands to protect their DOTA as well. I think Viking play around this hero really well. It's not to say it's going to be a sure win, but I like that they just approach the draft different. And they have this idea of how they want to play the game. And I mean, personally, I'm a big DOTA fan. I love this hero. I don't like playing with it or playing against it, but I think it's a really strong hero. Especially with Venge as well. I think it's crazy. They ban the AM instantly. There's probably going to be either a Void or a PL ban potentially as well. I mean, they could just ban like TB if they really wanted to. So there's a few things they can do.
Now you need to make sure you keep your Medusa safe. We saw Medusa a couple times in the Americas region. I don't want to say it was ping or not, but there were a couple situations where Medusa got caught with the shield down. So I don't want to say that is was a ping issue, but I've seen Medusa get beat. Yeah, exactly. That should never happen, and I think it happened like 2 or 3 times in that game alone. It was a dark time for that Medusa, and I could probably tell you which game it was, but
I mean, after like 15 minutes, you should probably always have Mana Shield on. Like probably before that, probably like 11 or 12. So yeah, that surprises me.
Yeah, it was, I believe, Hector. Game 1 against Quincy Crew. He just got caught. He went 1-9-1 overall.
Something else that we've seen do really well against DOTA before is like these heroes that have really difficult to catch in the backlines. So they ban the Arc Warden, but also something like Sniper could be really annoying. I don't know whether 5 men have the potential to move these heroes around so they can pick a different mid hero here. Yeah, because I mean, I've seen this DOTA from Viking beat things like the PLs and stuff before, so I don't think that's a hero they not like necessarily worry about. They're probably thinking about whether the DOTA can get their damage off onto the hero that's far away. Zeus as well is another one that I've seen do okay against DOTA before.
Getting that early Ags, being able to throw the Thunder God's Wrath with a Nimbus, and even, if you could have a good lane on that Zeus, feels very nice. So we'll have to see if Zeus is in the cards. I know there's still another ban here for Viking GG. They're using a lot of reserve time on it. But I think, it's got to be, if it were between TB and Phantom Lancer, I think my option is Phantom Lancer, right?
Probably, but I don't think it has to be. They're going to ban Underlord.
Ooh, okay, so that leaves options.
I think it's usually they usually play the DOTA as the position 1 as well. Yeah, I was going to say I'd really like to see them go Mars Phoenix second phase. They start with the Phoenix because I think they need something that. So the thing about DOTA is not only is Phoenix It's not great against Lina in itself, but the Stone Gaze protects the egg really well. I don't even think they necessarily have to pick Mars. But I think they just need somebody that goes in and commits to fights as well. So it could be like Mars, it could be Axe, it could like a Centaur. Any of these kind of heroes is fine. Just something that protects the Dusa still. I think Phoenix, they now have these two like really defensive heroes as well. So Phoenix has sustain for the Dusa and Venge has the save for the Dusa. So although Phoenix has this really good defense, aggressive capability with Egg and whatnot, Sunray is still one of the most ridiculous skills in Dota at the moment. I'm so sure about that. It's unreal. So, and when it's percentage-based healing with a hero like Dusa, feels pretty good.
So we'll see now what Fiveman want to do. Because it feels already 3 picks into this draft like it's hard to hit this egg, and this team fight potential from Viking GG looks really good.
Yes.
And they go Grimstroke, which is a support that hasn't exactly been too popular, but I still think is very strong.
Yeah, I like this. I think this is really good because the silence is really good against both those supports. But also, I think their plan at the moment is, okay, well, we want to play quick. We're probably going to play this tiny mid. We have Grimstroke that can Inkswell up the tiny now as well. We're going to pick a melee core, potentially something like the PL that can play quick and play off the Inkswell. And we're not going to let this Deuce ever come online. We're going to play the map quickly, and we're just going to really, try and push our advantage early on. So I think Viking, Ancient stacks, can they protect their Ancients as well?
Do you...
but Fiveman, they just want to run at them by the looks of it already.
Do you think that maybe they go Doom next for Fiveman? Or is that not on the pace?
They could do. It's okay, but I think they want some like mobile hero that plays that really quickly. So it's going to be Toby Phoenix.
Could it be Toby Spirit Breaker?
I mean, it could be. I very much doubt it's going to be. I think it's more likely to be Phoenix Core.
Mm-hmm.
And they go... Because Aramis has been like the Spirit Breaker player like every single time for Viking, I think. But Toby has played Phoenix for them. That's interesting.
I wonder, because we don't really see much of that Spirit Breaker.
But it's a hero that just causes chaos in fights as well. And when you know 5 men are going to want to run at you non-stop, this Spirit Breaker is just going to be tracks. He's going to be forcing them all around the map, just making silly, like, not silly, but like plays with charges and things. Okay,
so Jug. And they go the Jug, they leave the offlaner to be picked.
I mean, it could be Jibbe Tiny. Jibbe could be his Tiny.
I was looking at that as well. If it's Jibbe or Zibbe.
I have no idea. If we say names wrong, guys, we don't mean it. We're sorry. It's just... we are wrong sometimes. It happens. I know that's going to be a shock to absolutely everybody because you listen to us and you're like, God, these guys are really smart.
Spam the Storm. Like you said, they're expecting that Medusa to be in the 1 position. Could this Medusa end up going mid? I mean, do you expect it to go mid at all?
I think when Viking have played it before, it's usually Shad that plays it as a position 1. And they pick like a different mid hero, but there's no reason they can't put the Dusa mid and then pick a different hero. But I think it's nearly always going to be Shad on the Dusa, which is important to say. So, yeah.
Would have been a lot of control there with the RP. What do they have for Soulbind right now?
I don't think this hero is not about Soulbind though. I think Inkswell is the real skill of this hero, like the real ultimate. Honestly, like Soulbind's good against these really mobile heroes that have mobility skills, like the Embers and things and Void Spirits and whatnot. But the Inkswell with this Tiny in the Jug is going to do the major work this game. It does so much damage as well. In an AoE, like it's just ridiculous. And I mean, all of Grimstroke is one of those heroes that just does everything that you need it to. It gives you wave clear. The silence is really useful. An AoE nuke, control for these really crazy mobile heroes, BKB piercing.
A lot of mobile and control heroes taken out from 5-men. You know, Primal Roar, and then Ember is mobile, Storm's mobile, Void's mobile there. You know, a lot of disruption in fights with Searing Chains and Tornado EMP, Primal Roar, like Vortex, like they were taking out mids that can move and mids that can control and disrupt fights. And
I mean,
does that give you any hint at what they're looking for 5-men?
Not particularly, no. I'm trying to think of other position 3s that. I think the Pango would have been really nice.
Yeah.
Because I do think they lack a little bit of team fight.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's the Mars. Okay. So there's their team fight. I don't mind this. This is okay because it forces the DOTA to go BKB. Because when the arena goes down, the wall effectively blocks all the split shots from the DOTA, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of protects your whole team, but it can be used offensively to zone the DOTA out of the fight.
Okay.
And there's the really quick hero. So it's effectively... We need heroes like the Spirit Breaker and the Queen of Pain, the 4 and the 2, to be the ones that make plays on the map and make things happen. And this DOTA's just going to farm up, and eventually this DOTA will be able to join us and be able to commit to these fights. And it is Toby playing the Phoenix. I love DOTA as a hero, but I actually quite like 5-men's lineup this game. If they ever get like double Laguna off in a fight as well, it looks really good for them. But I think if 5-men can play the tempo that they need to, which is what we saw from them last game, I think this lineup looks really good for them.
I think it's another game that like can be made or broken on whether or not Misery has a good time.
I think it's more about... I don't think it's about one hero specifically.
No, I'm not trying to say it is. I'm just saying like it can fall on Misery. Because like we saw how much that Lina can do, and I feel like there's a little bit of importance here on the Lina.
Kind of, but at the same time, I think it's about them playing the map properly and making the right movements rather than someone landing their spells or whatever. Because that's, I mean, if somebody misses their spells in any game, it's always going to be bad, right? But if they can like take over the ancient area of the map specifically, I think as well, any good timing, I think it would be really good for them against this DOTA. Because like this DOTA Venge isn't a particularly strong lane, and they're playing against Lina Mars. So, and then in the safe lane they have Jug Grim up against Phoenix Spirit Breaker, so the Jug should be fine as well.
Yeah.
The only one that I think is potentially a little bit more one-sided, I think, is the Quap should do well against the Tiny mid. Like Tiny does okay, but as the levels start to come through from the Quap, I think Boom should start to do a little bit better. Because do you remember Viking had that period where they were just first picking Quap all the time, and they were like the only team that were doing it? And then it was just before the Arcana came out, I think. And then everybody started doing it. And everybody had to like start first phase banning Quap against Viking as well. It was crazy. So Boom is really good at this hero.
Your failure lives on.
That wasn't too bright.
So we'll see how this game 2 goes. I'm getting reports that it's... Somebody said it's Gibe?
Hibe?
But I don't know. It's... To me, it's kind of weird. Because I think about Jinkyu. Although I got told that it's more of a Zinkyu.
Zinkyu? Oh.
Yeah. I don't know.
Do we reckon Jug goes Diffuser this game against the DOTA? I don't know if he will.
I don't think it's terrible.
Yeah, I think like Diffuser Manta's still okay this game. Especially if Quap's going Orchid. But I'm just wondering whether he definitely will. He obviously could. But...
I think that's going to be up in the air. I think that's not a definite at this point in the game.
Have you seen Pylodice doing the same thing again? As he did on Oracle this game? With the Grimchick? He's just gone for this Null Talisman with us.
The battle begins.
Oh, they're going to get 3 runes. Misery actually committed bot lane with his team because they understand how strong they are down here. So they managed to take 3 runes for themselves this time.
And he'll just get over towards top. He'll walk it up. So let's see how these lanes progress. Chessie, he had a good game last game. I think there were some points where it felt like, I don't know, the Tiny just wasn't doing much.
Oh.
I guess in those later fights, it felt like maybe they were killing the Tiny a little quicker, or getting a lot of, on him to start off, but it definitely opened a lot of space for like Ace and Misery, especially with how that was going with Alina.
I mean, he didn't get a single CS on the first wave on the Queen of Pain because he was CSing under his own tower.
Wow.
So now Chessie's going to be feeling really good about his lane.
We definitely felt the presence though of Chessie in like the early to mid game, where he was just, especially with those couple of clutch haste runes.
Yeah, he had a really good game.
Stroke missing from Pile died down bottom, but up towards top, Shad, Celery, doing their thing. Do we see Misery be first blood again? Tactical feed.
I think it's really difficult to give away first blood in this lane. I think Venge Deuce don't really offer a huge amount of threat until Deuce gets some more levels online with the snake. They should be fine.
Denied.
Misery just constantly throwing out LSAs.
I mean, this hero's so annoying to lane against.
So he got the first 4 CS on Chessie. Now he's gotten 2 more, but I mean, for it to be none under tower for Boom, and now it's even just about, seems pretty rough from the second part from Tiny. But that's to be expected, right?
Yeah, I mean, when the levels start to come through from the Queen of Pain, because Tiny has no armor, like the constant clicking from the Queen of Pain really starts to add up.
Aramis on the run. Blade Fury from Ace was on top of the Spirit Breaker.
I was wondering whether he might take an early point in Bulldoze to stop a lot of the Ink Scroll stun duration. Not going to happen. And he just TP's back to base. Oh, he didn't pick up his Phoenix Ring of Regen, which is a bit sad, but never mind.
Guess it'll just come on the courier.
It's fine. I didn't want it anyway. But like, look at Toby's CS. That's this Phoenix. And he has 5 CS at like 3 minutes, sorry. Or 6 now.
Inkswell, Blade Fury.
Just charged to lane.
And yeah, there's going to be a tough ride for him if he ends up dead. A lot of these heroes showing low for 5 men.
He's gone for a really early point in the Phantom's Embrace on Pile as well on the Scrim Stroke to stop the Phoenix from trying to dive away. But I actually think if he gets a second point in Inkswell there, they probably kill the Spirit Breaker.
Dire's structures are fortified.
What was the old build we used to see when Grimstroke was like first pick every game? Was it just the like 1-1-4 or something like that?
Yeah, but I mean, people still usually go like 2-1-4. And I think he'll definitely max the Inkswell this game with the Tiny and the Jug on his team. But they already have a 1k net worth lead on 5 men, and it's just dipped back under again. But
we can see where it's at.
They're having a really good start to the game. 4-minute rune, where's it going to spawn?
Toby's got to be careful how forward he comes, because the Phantom's Embrace would put him in a lot of trouble.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
South pop by Pile Die. And back up to that 1k lead. Still waiting on that first blood for now. It feels like it's going to come over in the bottom lane, but at this point, it's anybody's guess. But they go after this Phoenix for a second. The silence is just a little bit late.
Jawbreaker.
Jug. He's about to hit level 4, right? And Paladin's about to hit level 4 as well. So the 2 points in Inkswell is a lot stronger than the 1 point. Stun's duration goes up from 1 to 1.9. You know, it almost doubles.
Yeah.
Damage goes from 100 to 200 at max.
Yeah.
It's really strong.
Does Grimstroke have anything coming out on his courier, or is he still just on this 1-0 talisman? Icarus dive over. Interesting move there by Toby.
It kills the healing ward.
Add another to the tally.
So I have the vision on the Pile I die. Aramis, up to this point, I feel like 5 minutes in, you want a little bit more disruption if you are the Spirit Breaker.
Where does he go?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what does he do?
I mean, he could charge mid, but the charge gets instantly cancelled by Avalanche, right?
Yeah.
So it's so difficult to ever make an entrance towards that mid lane. I think it's going to be interesting to see who gets the 6-minute rune now, because now, especially now that Quap has level 6, it's really much easier for her to make a rotation on the map and make something happen.
Jug's sitting a little low here. Doesn't have mana for healing more, but pops clarity. And they get the pull on this, as well as, I believe, another stack. Invis rune ends up being top. That'll refill the bottle of the Queen of Pain at the 6-minute mark. Does Ace Blade Fury this stack at some point?
Yeah, probably. I think they'll probably make a rotation with one of the other heroes as well to try and secure it. Because this is a lot of gold.
Yeah, you definitely want to try and control that up. Charge coming bottom on an Ace. He's got level 2 on the Blade Fury. This charge isn't exactly fast, so they spot it out. He goes into the Blade Fury, but he's just first blood. Okay.
I love the instant bashes after charge. Oh, it always looks so good. Yeah, well played by Viking. And now, I thought they were going to try and use the rest of those fire spirits to possibly contest the stack. But
Yeah, Ace
big
can
moment here is now
still-
that Phoenix is about to hit level 6. Whenever Jug has to basically save spin to be able to kill the egg, otherwise he dies.
We're placed behind the tower by Aramis.
Dire's middle tower is under
Power
attack.
dive pops a clarity,
Boom's
only
here.
for it to get immediately stopped. Boom coming over. They see the Queen of Pain. Do they have anybody to help? Phantom's Embrace. That might help Ace. Icarus dive over. Power die is dead. Sonic Wave used on the Grimstroke, and I think Ace is kind of happy with that. Although
they take
now
the
this stack, he doesn't have Blade Fury to contest it. So this is a lot of gold going the way of Viking GG.
And you have to remember you have the potential to get items now as well,
Dire's
so
top tower is
they actually
under
don't get any
attack.
from the whole of that stack, which is quite funny. But never mind.
Wow.
She's going to go PMS. Oh, sorry, she's got PMS. She's going Midas on the Deuce is what I meant to
Dire's
say.
top tower has fallen.
Really wanted to try and hit their timing later on.
That is unfortunate, I'd say, for 5 men. Not that the CSing in lanes is going bad by any means. Obviously, you could tell because without the kills, they were up 1,000 gold. You know, Mars and Jug are already sitting top of the net worth, despite the fact that it's gone their way. And then over in the jungle, you take a look, Celery dies to Chessie, so he's got
Look
double
at where they're
damage
farming.
and does a good job.
Dire's top tower
Look at where
is
they're
under
taking the
attack.
farm away from the Dire side. They're in the jungle. Like,
Yeah.
This is where the Deucer wants to be right now. And they're like, nope, we're just going to sit here.
Aramis looking to, I believe, charge under tower. I'm not certain if that's to maybe get level 7, get the supernova, and
Dire's
just
top
dive under the
is
tower.
under attack.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, 5 really want to take this tier 1 mid to open up the map, right? That's the big thing for them. But yeah, you see this charge is coming mid. And, Zibbe's here as well, so they have to be a little bit careful.
He stopped
He
charging at
was,
least.
but-
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
You're not wrong, you're not wrong. Yeah,
See how quickly they're pressuring the map here. This
Yeah.
is really good by 5 men. They understand what they need to do this game. And so everybody from like Dire's coming over. And Toby might just look for TP here potentially as well.
Ooh, Arena, Aramis, speared up. They've got the Ink Swell with the Avalanche toss. I mean, they get the kill regardless. They've almost got this tier 1 tower mid.
And they're going to keep going for this, I think. I don't see any reason for them to stop. Shad can't fight at the moment on the Deucer. He hasn't even finished his Midas yet, and he's going to lose his tier 1. Oh, they commit the Sonic just to try and push the lane out, but
It also brings Chessie low if they were able to follow that up, but they aren't. They've got the silence out on the Queen of Pain. They'll throw the tree over. Boom's able to
Tribute.
get out.
I'm really... Toby, bot
Wave
lane.
Fury, Toby. Does he have enough mana for the Supernova? I don't think he does.
Wow,
Just
he-
an Icarus dive away.
I don't know why he decided to use the dive so late. I think he was deciding about whether he could try and turn with the egg. He was working out if he had the mana left to be
Yeah.
able to use both, but...
I thought he was well short of it, but that was just off my glimpse. Avalanche toss on Celery once again. Charge coming in from Aramis. Will they go for this? They're going to commit. Spear doesn't land. It looked like it was a little bit short of that cliff over there. Jibe is in trouble and will die. They get a trade. All the while, though, I think Ace is just being made so much space.
Yeah, he's having a really good time botting. But again, the Phoenix has just stayed here the whole time, but the Phoenix doesn't really do anything to the Jug now. And he has level 8, so there's 4 points at spin. Only has an 18-second cooldown. And he is going for this Manta first, which I like. And then, again, we can still talk about whether he might go Diffusal afterwards, but we'll have to wait and see.
I think with this early advantage, I kind of like it. But I would definitely like it more first item. I don't know if you agree with that, though.
No, I think the Manta's really important because you know Queen of Pain's going to be going Orchid. And if you go Diffuse or Burst first, what happens is you don't have Manta for ages. And then you get, like, you have this window where you're just going to die to Queen of Pain whenever she goes on you.
Okay, so could you even go Yasha and get greedy and then, like, Yasha Diffusal finish the Manta? Or is it just, like, you just can't risk the Queen of Pain's timings getting pushed back on an Orchid?
Yeah, exactly. It's a really good Manta game. So.
Constantly
and they have this
forcing
Catapult
Toby
wave
back.
bot, you see. So they're trying to keep the Catapult alive bot so they can carry on pushing their advantage for the spots they want now. And with the healing wall down, it's so much easier than normal. They know there's no dive because Toby just used it to get away.
Charge coming through. Inkswell has Blade Fury once again. Misery up far, but they get the Laguna Blade. Toby goes into the Supernova. They use the ult from Aramis. No, he'll just give up and let that Supernova explode in death, but not in explosion of stunning.
But again, what we have to talk about here is that this Lucifer is free farming. Like, nobody's touching her at the moment. So, yes, 5 men are making moves on the map. They're taking over the map in terms of, like, controlling it. But Shad is still farming. So, you have to be worried for 5 men that Viking might just hit this timing relatively soon, where they get the egg, they get the stone gaze, and they can just start running up. Like, not running at people, but defending their, like, tier 2 towers.
But now they've got this blink dagger on the tiny, so, like, their jump gets a little bit easier.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Like, a lot of the difference in net worth at the moment comes from the position 3s. Because
Radiant are scanning.
Toby hasn't had the most amazing time down in the spot lane.
Bottom. Easton charged. He already used that Blade Fury. They've got the swap. Boom. Has the Sonic Wave. They'll go with the combo off Aramis.
Comes Tiny though.
But Avalanche toss, losing this Venge. Now they look over at Toby. You gotta understand that he's got no Supernova for 30 seconds. There's just no gap closer at the moment.
So close.
Almost on this blink.
On this
yeah, for Mars. Silence onto the Spirit Breaker. Avalanche toss. Venom's Embrace. Inkswell trying to catch him. Just gets him on the edge. And now they get the stun on Aramis and the kill.
And there's a DD that spawned near mid lane as well, so I'd like to see Boom go and try and check that one. Yeah, 14-minute route, he knows. If the Tiny had got that DD, it would have been so scary. He's getting close to the Orchid now on the Queen of Pain. So.
A big boost in farm right there. Sitting ahead of all 3 cores on the side of 5 men. Their net worth advantage comes via supports. And, well, Toby doesn't have much of anything.
That's a very good point from somebody in chat. When did Viking change their logo? Maybe that's because the bad form is because of the logo change.
Looks like it's just you and me.
Who knows?
Fancy beating you here.
Is Ace looking for an Omni? Yeah, from the high ground. That really doesn't work out in his favor. That's such a commitment. A risky play. Sunray over. Now the blink as well as the scream. They've got the charge coming through on an Ace, but they get the kill on a Boom.
They just run away,
Charge
surely.
all the way onto the Jug. He's got Blade Fury in 4 seconds. They get the kill on the egg. They take out Celery.
In 1
Ace
second.
survive this. Yes, Blade Fury comes in. He's got the healing ward. He'll survive. They go after Aramis. They've got the Inkswell. That'll pop right on top of the Spirit Breaker. 4 heroes dead on the side of Viking GG. Very good fight from 5 men as they overwhelm Viking, despite the fact that Omni Slash was very aggressive. Oh my god.
Yeah, I can't believe that worked. It's pretty crazy. But again, at the same time, you saw what Boom was trying to do there on the Queen of Pain. He wanted to try and blow up the jug as quickly as possible. But
Yeah,
Chessie was there ready on the tiny instantly with the blink to blow up the quad. On top of Misery's nukes as well. Queen of Pain just dies instantly. Yeah, she was doing really well about getting to her Orchid at a decent timing, but now, look at Toby's net worth in particular. Like, he's not really had any net worth progression in the last few minutes at all. And, this Queen of Pain after the death as well is really starting to struggle now as well. They just have to keep the Medusa farming now. That's the only hope here, really.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
6k lead. And look at that Misery now ahead in net
Dire's
worth
top
over
tower
this
is
Phoenix.
under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Like, this is certainly a struggle 10-4 in favor of Feynman. And they've almost got this Manta on the jug. They've picked up this Blink Dagger for the Mars. He's going into the Deso. Blink into the arena. Swap out. Very good job from Celery. He'll lose his life for that one, but that is a life that you're willing to lose. Misery, he is just in no man's land. He's definitely dead there.
I thought they were going to try and give the kill to Shad, but just give it to Toby in the end.
Wow. Getting caught in a very awkward spot.
It's a 10 gold off Orchid here for the Quap. Here it's going to come.
But he gets that as Jug gets the Manta. Like, if he didn't die in that fight up top,
Yes.
he would have had it a little bit earlier. And I think the timing... Ooh, now Manta
Oh, yeah.
Battle Fury.
Yeah, that's exactly the point that I was about to make as well, on the jug. If he goes Battle Fury after the Manta, that's... Oh, okay. I mean, it's not bad. It's just not what I thought he would do.
Mm-hmm.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I go save it for Chessie. About to hit that 18-minute mark, so he wants Control Rune. He gets himself an Arcane Rune. That's going to be nice for the next fight.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Scotty next for Shad. So, is the farm enough for the Medusa right now? Like, is this... Is this enough of a Medusa lead over everybody else? Or is just the whole team being behind a problem?
I mean, it's a problem, obviously, but at the same time, if the Medusa's the strongest hero on the map, she's going to hit this point scene where she hits a Skadi, and she's going to be really strong. So, it's up to Fiveman to try and push the game towards their advantage even further before that item comes online. I personally thought they would be trying to take control of this Ancients area more, but they have just taken the Rosh now, so it might be their natural progression now to move across the map and start trying to, take over this bottom half. Because we have to remember they do still have the Egg Stone Gaze combo to work with, Charge Pierces, BKB, with the units that it goes through, at least.
Top tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Radiant structures
I'm going to go for the tier 2 up towards top.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Medusa TP's in, followed by the Venge. They'll look for a swap. They've got the charge on the pile. I die, but they catch the Spirit Breaker. Ramis in a bad spot. Here? Alright, follows it up with
Radiant's
a
bottom tower is
Blink
under attack.
God's Rebuke.
Dire's top
I'm really
tower
surprised they
is
tried
under
to do
attack.
that, because they would have been
Avalanche
expecting
toss
that,
on the
right?
Medusa. Not committing just yet. The Orchid was out on a Chessie. They've done a lot of damage onto the Tiny, but he still has 3 bottle charges to work with.
Dire's top tower
And
has
Blink's
fallen.
back.
20-minute bounty runes here as well, and active runes. They want the...
Oh,
they almost got it.
almost.
That was so close, actually.
Add another to the
All 5
I'm-
heroes committed to it to try and take it as quickly as possible.
I'm really shocked that Jibei's going for Pipe instead of Crimson on the Mars. I feel like Crimson is so good against Dusa. An item. Like, it doesn't matter if she has Discarded, because you can basically just ignore her the whole fight and go on everybody else. because she's not going to do any damage against the Crimson. So I'm kind of hoping he changes his mind here and builds a different item, whether like Halberd or something could be really good as well. I feel like this pipe...
Oh, they found Shad. Avalanche toss, they've got the
Toss back.
swap with the Medusa toss back, they've got themselves the arena, here's the Omni Slash. Soulbind comes in, Sonic Wave is there, but it really doesn't do all too much. They've got the Supernova though. Highlight ends up dead, Ace loses his Aegis. Luna Blade was used, they go and put all this in on the Shad, they just can't get the kill onto the Medusa. So now they look over at Ace, so go to the Blade Fury, Jibbe right here, Spear thrown, doesn't connect onto a tree. Aramis moves forward, Ace trying to TP out, he'll do so. All that commitment though on the Medusa and they don't get the kill. That's massive.
Yeah, that's a huge swing in the game for Viking there, because if 5 men win that fight, they can naturally progress to taking that tier 2, then taking control of the Ancients, potentially even going high ground if it went really well. They just ran out of steam a little bit there towards the end. And this is what we're saying, as soon as the egg goes down with the Stone Gaze, it's really difficult for 5 men to fight. It doesn't matter what their net worth lead is. It's all about just using their spells together on Viking. And he has the gold for the Scardian, like 100 gold on Dusa. Shad's going to be really strong.
Ace is about 1,000 gold away from picking up this Battle
Radiant's
Fury.
bottom tower is under attack.
I just don't know if that's the build. Meanwhile, charges coming through onto the Mars. Phantom's Embrace, as well as the Clumsy Net and Laguna Blade used by Misery. So they get the kill on Toby. Toby is just not allowed to really play Dota that much.
I'll also say about 5 men, the fights that they've done badly this game are the ones where they try to go on the Dusa first, and it just doesn't work. Like, they need to make sure they try and kill the supporting cast first, especially the Phoenix, I think, is the most important hero. Like, yes, Queen of Pain is obviously going to be annoying, she has the Orchid, she has the Sonic Wave, but I think the Phoenix is able to get the egg off, but the Sun Ray is the important one, because it does so much damage and so much healing. Especially, like we were saying, percentage base. Deuce has 2,200 HP. So Phoenix is the one that you really need to try and find first. It doesn't matter if, like, Phoenix has no net worth with how strong his spells are innately. That's crazy.
What's Chessie going for? BKB, Pipe next. Or Pipe picked up from Mars. Now he's going Heaven's Halberd.
Yeah, it shocks. Like, Pipe's okay. I just think there's better items this game. So I like the Halberd, obviously up against the Dusa, but I feel Pipe's such an expensive item for what it does. It's good.
MKB
but
next for Medusa.
yeah, she needs a damage item now. She has her kind of not survivability with the Skadi, but you know, her innate tankiness with the mana shield. You know, it gives you big mana gains.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
They just need the extra punch now from the Dusa.
Axe for Jug. So I kind of like the Axe. Swift Slash, get to the back lines, maybe blow somebody up.
Radiant are
Yeah, it's
scanning.
okay. I don't mind it. He has the Battle Fury, so I mean, he does scale a little bit better now. So, like, if this game goes later than they would have originally liked, they can still scale the Dusa. Scale the Jug to try and fight up against the Dusa.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Sunray on a pile, I die. Still only 2 deaths for Pile I Die.
I'm really surprised he hasn't maxed out Inkswell this game, though. I get the 3 points in Phantom's Embrace, but I would have preferred the Inkswell maxed over the Stroke of Fate. But if they felt like Wave Clear was a problem, I guess the Stroke of Fate's a little bit better.
What does Toby have right now? He's going straight Shivas after this Yules.
I've seen Misery's going for the MKB again as well.
Jeez.
Amazing.
So farm. Bots and Yules.
I'll take back position.
Uses the Yules, gets the stun into Aramis, he'll use the Bulldoze. Wreck his way out of there.
But
Going
look at how
Lotus
well they've
Orb.
controlled this area of the map on Viking the whole time. Like, they're making sure this Dusa always has Ancients to farm. She's getting really close to the MKB now, just, you know, about 1,000 gold away or so.
Yeah, starting to outpace the Jug pretty heavily.
This is what I'm
Like,
saying.
Jugs-
5 men, although they were making the right moves on the map and taking towers, they weren't stopping the Medusa from farming.
Yeah. This feels like a game where Dusa could just 1v12. You know, taking on players from another game.
Yeah. Come at me. Yeah. And you see, Celery, this game is basically, I'm following Dusa around, and if they ever go on Dusa, I swap her. That's this whole game.
About every 2 minutes or so, you could just hear in the Viking GG comms, buddy check. All right, count off 1. And Celery and Chad just go 1. And they're always together. If they're ever apart, you know there's a problem.
Either just waiting for like next Roach, or what's the plan here?
Are they looking
took
for
that
these next
one-
items? Like, do they want the MKB on Lena that bad and like the Ags on Jug that bad? Or are they maybe waiting for the Heaven's Halberd to be secure and fighting? Like,
You do
do
escape
you...
VKB now, right? So
Yeah.
Heaven's Halberd's nice, but is it going to come online quick enough?
Yeah, that's
And I
the
feel like
problem.
I honestly feel like they missed the big timing of this game by that mid fight going wrong. I feel like that's such a massive swing in the game. If you look at win probability, it's like 60% at the moment for 5 men, which I'd say is probably about right. Maybe a little bit less even.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Shadow leading the charge. Toby, look at where he's sitting. Just on the back, doesn't need to be close. Worst case scenario, he just uses Supernova right there and then. They let the tier
No, the
1 just
next
kind of
Middle
fall
tower
too.
has fallen.
The next question is, does Venge get a telescope for the tier 3 items? If she does, Venge's going to be very happy.
GG.
GG. Straight up.
Orb of Destruction, that's a good one. 500
it's
gold
okay.
away from the Zags.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
So 1 down, no telescope.
3 to go. PKB for Chessie, that felt like a bit of a slow one there for him. MKB's not terribly far away. But again, just
Great Fairy Fire. 2 down,
Titan
no
Sliver
telescope.
though.
I'm still waiting for it.
Ace getting the Titan Sliver Mindbreaker. I think that's... Is that all
Dire
4
are
for them? Yeah.
Who takes the Mindbreaker, though, is the question. Do you give it to, like, Lena or something?
Mars? No, he's got Clumsy Net. He wants to keep
Are
that.
they going...
Radiant's
they see the
courier
courier in the
has been
okay.
killed. Dire's bottom tower is
Jug's
under
got that
attack.
egg, so now he's got the Swift Slash. I guess the question becomes, can he keep up with that? And, you know, is he going to output enough damage when they go for this fight?
I really don't know what Ace is going to build next, is the big thing for me. 3 down, no telescope.
Over
Find the
destruction.
opening.
Now they get the Avalanche
Wow.
toss out on him. Boom, blow him up. That's a big kill to get. They're going to look for this Phoenix next. Charge coming in, out on a Misery. They get the swap with the Laguna Blade on a Solari. They'll get a kill. They'll take advantage. They've got themselves the Stone Gaze as well as the Soul Mine onto the Phoenix as well as the Medusa. Supernova used. They start to back off. There's the charge. Jibe still fighting this. Supernova pops, right-click damage coming in with the Sun Ray. This isn't exactly going amazingly for 5 men.
He still has
Avalanche
Omni
toss,
Slash.
but look at the right-click damage coming in from Ace. Goes over to Shad, now over to the Creeps, back over to Aramis. Little RNG that kind of got Ace back into it with a kill. They've got the Silencing Swell on the run. Look over at the Phoenix, Avalanche on the Shad. Now they've got the Spear with the God's Rebuke. They get the kill to Toby. They look over at Shad. He's just the last one alive. Boom up in 4 seconds. That might make a difference in this fight, but out of mana, out of time. Swift Slash once again. They get the kill to Shad. They'll take him out. It's a full team wipe for the favor of 5 men.
Great fight by 5 men. They finally find that fight where they don't go on the Dusa. They just completely ignore her and go on everybody else first. So you saw when Jibe died there before he bought back, he was just trying to delay as much time as he could because he knew he was going to die.
Radiant are scanning.
But it's all about making sure the rest of your team can deal with their heroes that aren't Dusa first.
Yeah.
Add another to the tally.
He does buy back on the Mars, so yeah, big win for 5 men. But again, at the same time, they do have to commit at least a little bit of resources.
It was a close fight, though. Like, that was so on the edge for 5 men with an Ace sitting low. Paladin Sword's gonna be good for the Medusa. No. I had the same reaction in my head.
Your shrine has
But no telescope.
That's the thing. But okay, so Paladin Sword isn't. You don't give it to the Medusa because she has Orbital Destruction. You see, they've given it to the Phoenix, and he has Sunray. So yeah, it's not like insanely good, but it's still really strong.
So now Ace has Aegis. He's going Scotty next. And he's honestly not far from it.
Yeah, he's close. Yeah, they might give the Paladin Sword to the Medusa when she hits 25 if she takes the split shot uses modifiers, which I imagine she probably will.
And ooh, for Misery, this is where he gets a bump up. Like, he's gonna get the MKB.
Yes.
He'll have the Orbit Destruction. Like, Misery's gonna be hitting pretty hard. Like, it's gonna be you'll probably be able to tell the difference coming into these next fights.
100%, but also at the same time, you have to remember that Misery's a massive glass cannon right now.
Oh yeah.
So yes, he's going to output a lot of damage, but at the same time, he has potential to just blow up straight away. So that's up to Viking to have to get on Misery at the start of the fight and try and kill him before he can get all his damage off.
He's the equivalent to what Alistair Overeem was in the midst of his career as a UFC fighter, just a glass cannon.
I wish I could tell you what that meant. But...
Yeah, that's an obscure one for
Dire
the UFC
are
fans and the
scanning.
MMA Pride fans at home. Well, I'll see if anybody gets it in 5 minutes. I'll let you know.
Howard's going to be at relatively soon for the Mars. He's just got loads of items in his stash that he doesn't need, and he's waiting to sell. Love to see that.
How far away is he from? He's 1400
Dire's
gold.
bottom
Okay.
tower is under attack.
Oh my god. Look at this tower just melt.
Dire's
Lena
bottom
Gaming.
tower has fallen.
Oh my
I was,
god.
I was wondering if she might go Dragonlance last,
Dire's
but
bottom tower is under attack.
I think
they have to be
Lincoln's isn't that
careful
bad.
here. Viking have to get back. They're not ready. This feels like game one.
They don't have a TP available on a couple of these heroes, but they lose the tier 3. They'll go to get the kill on a Misery. Oh, they'll take him out, but you lost your tower. And Misery's technically a 4. Even though he hits like
he?
a 2.
Yeah, I was going to say, is he a 4?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Charge on the Ace. All the way in. Blade Fury late. Ace now leaving. Or at least trying to. I think Jibbe turned around just in case he needed to, like, blink Arena.
There's no mana shield up on... Oh, it is up. I just couldn't see it. Okay. Okay, so maybe that's what... When you remember when you thought Dusa didn't have mana shield up right now?
Yeah.
Does it show that it's up for you? Like, she's got it on, but it doesn't look like it for me.
Dire's
For
middle
me
tower
and
is under attack.
Obs, it shows
Oh,
on.
opposite it does. Okay. That's interesting. So it's just me. Oh, another visual bug. Thanks, though.
Yeah, that's a big
Take a
one,
picture.
too. Ooh. Tweeted at me. Or just send it to me on Discord. Bottom lane, Inkswell, they've got the kill on a Toby.
Finest work.
Nicely done to find that kill. As we were saying, Phoenix is a big part of these fights. And now they've got 60 seconds without Phoenix. This is for your tournament lives. And Phoenix bought out. Like, didn't have the gold for buyback regardless. Buys out on the Shivas. Now you've got Jug
Dire's
finishing the
middle
Scotty
tower is
and
under attack.
Ace. I
Tier 2
mean,
mid.
he is just going to be able to rip through this with the help of the Lena. And they've got the Heaven's Hopper. Like, these item timings for 5 men right now are going to be huge, especially 30 seconds without this Phoenix. I think they take the bottom set of racks if Viking don't defend this well enough. And it's a difficult one to defend, I think. Backs off to the healing ward.
Yeah, they know the
Ace.
healing ward's there, but they can't get to
Avalanche
it.
toss, Celery in trouble. BKB's been popped by Chessie. Swift slash onto the back lines. Now they've used the Stone Gaze. They have the Soulbind, the Silence on two. The Sonic Wave comes through on an Ace as well as Chessie. Chessie's BKB is about to run out.
Good
but the
Arena,
the
though.
Arena wraps up 3. However, Aramis gets out with his ult. So they've got the Silence out of Chessie, but they have the damage to get the kill on a Chet with the BKB being popped. Tiny trying to do some work here. Ends up dead. They'll lose Celery. Omni Slash bouncing around. Now they've got the Swift Slash that goes over to Creeps. Ace doesn't do enough. And they lose Jibbe. That is not what I thought they were going to get from this. Now that Supernova's down, they're taking the Aegis. This is
Oh,
going
when
to
does
go
the Aegis
so
come out?
bad. Oh, it's
so
a little
close.
early, but Ace, he still needs to run from this. He's got Swift Slash to work with, so I don't know if they'll chase. But that was very much feeling like a missed opportunity for 5 men in that bottom lane.
That was it would have been a good opening by Chessie if he finds the Venge straight away, but unfortunately he doesn't quite kill her, and he has to pop his BKB to basically achieve nothing in the fight, right? But if you look at Deuce's mana, they got Shad relatively low, but they couldn't quite do enough. And this is a problem when you play against Deuce. You have to really kind of fully commit. She actually the extra stone gauge duration is now from the 20 talent, so it's much harder for Jug. Like, he can't just stand there and get his damage off, because there's this like 8-second window of stone gaze.
Caught.
Fire.
And, ooh. Okay. Force the BKB on Boo.
That wasn't
Oh,
too
are they getting double Shivas? Looks like they are. Phoenix has one and Boom has the recipe for one as well. He might decide to go AC or something instead, I imagine. Could just go Shivas as well, but... yeah.
Jug going Abyssal next. I feel like Abyssal would have been maybe better earlier.
Yeah, they need the jump to kill the Phoenix or the Queen of Pain, I think, at the start of the fights. Again, you saw the same thing, they just get the egg down, they get the stone gaze off.
Ooh.
So much easier.
Pile die going Ags.
Wow, okay.
Radiant's
So
bottom
now,
tower is
who
under
do you
attack.
Dark Portrait? The Medusa or the Venge? Is it just always Medusa?
Yeah, always.
Oh,
I
I thought I was
think
going to
you
make
have
an interesting question there.
I mean, the Venge has Vlad's though, right, as well, which is really important.
Yeah.
So they could get the Venge, but I mean, the
Jesus.
Deucer is
Oh
just...
my god. Just Spell Prism. Okay.
Spell Prism Quap. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, cool. Exactly.
And again, Dota Plus is 60% or so for 5 men at the moment. I think it's very 50-50 at the moment.
Oh,
Like, it's
taking
really close.
Ninja Gear.
Oh, have they given the Spell Prism to Toby? Oh, they have. Okay.
Magic Lamp. Ninja Gear.
Yeah, I was gonna say they've given the Magic Lamp to the Phoenix. I think Quapley is gonna take the Prism.
Lena takes the Ninja Gear. Jug's got the Leveler. Illusionist Cape for Mars, and now the Daedalus finished for Medusa.
Okay, so this is a big...
Yeah.
The timing for Viking here is when Queen of Pain hits level 25, and, well, Deuce is about to hit level 25. They're going to be really strong.
Is
They
Jug
can still
25?
fight.
He's close.
Yeah, they can still fight without the 25, so when this Deucer gets it, if she takes the split shot, uses modifiers, she's going to do so much damage. And I think you have to give her the Paladin Sword at that point as well.
I want to see if this Dark Portrait just wrecks them.
Could, but you have to remember at the same time it takes, I think it's increased physical damage, right?
It's
Yeah, it's
350%.
350%. And Deuce has
Yeah.
got split shot, so...
They've got the toss. There's the Dark Portrait doing a decent amount of damage on a Celery, and they have to deal with it first. They've got the
Where's
Arena
the damage,
Swift
though?
Slash coming through. Now they've got the Omni Slash bouncing in the backline to get a kill onto Aramis. They still aren't through this Mana Shield just yet with the BKB pop. They get the kill on Celery with the Sonic Wave coming in through from Boom, as well as the Supernova from the Phoenix. Sunray round on the chest. They get the kill onto the Tiny as they also
It's,
taking out Misery.
It's the same thing. They have enough damage to get her to, like, little mana, but it's not enough to kill her. And so Shadow is able to just turn around with Stone Gaze and just gets his damage off. And now
They wanna
Third
go?
Roche is Third Roche has hit minimum respawn time. If it had spawned there and the Deucer gets Aegis, I actually think the game's over then and there.
Is the Abyssal Blade enough, you think? Dark Portrait on a Shad. Spear. That connects. Does he have a Swift Slash? No, it's on cooldown for another 10 seconds. The right click's coming
Shad's
in.
got
Gets the
no
bash
mana.
on the Shad. Shad's got no more mana. There's the Shivas. Yules. Can he survive? Ace. Swift Slash in 2 seconds. Trying to get the kill here on the Medusa. Goes for the Swift Slash. Gets
Wow.
the kill. Get for 100. 100 with no buyback. Laguna Blade on a Toby. That might just win them the game.
Dire's top
I'm
tower
really
is
shocked they
under
decided to
attack.
try and stay around and farm there when
Radiant
Deucer had no mana. That was
structures
crazy.
are fortified.
Now they're just going to lose the game off of it because they have no
Dire's
buyback on either of their
top barracks
cores.
are under attack.
Oh, one silly mistake, and all of a sudden this hard work that you've been putting in for 40 minutes just goes to waste.
Dire's top barracks has fallen.
Like, they have no damage without the
Dire's
Deucer.
middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
A full minute. You rip through these buildings. Are you scared of 4v, you know, a 4v5 situation without the Medusa? And I don't know that you are. Look at the bashes coming in. Like, even just the basher was so much for the side of 5-men.
They just have to like they have to accept that they're probably going to get mega tier,
Dire's middle
but they
tower
have to just
has
try and
fallen.
delay so the Deucer can come back up again. Because you have to remember, this is their tournament life on Viking. Like, if they lose this game, they
Avalanche
go out of the
toss.
competition.
Celery dead. He's got buyback. Now they've got the silence out on a Chessie. Boom moves in. Toby trying to throw some spirits to slow down this push. But this is Mega Creeps, and still 20 seconds left to go. Swift Slash comes in. There's the Supernova and the Sonic Wave coming through. Misery might die on this one, but Yule's in the air, has the Ink Swell, doesn't die just yet. Finally falls, but the Abyssal Blade is used onto this Spirit Breaker. They get the kill on Toby, Celery, and Aramis.
Dire's bottom
They're all dead without buyback. Medusa up in 3, but we talked about it. You go for the Medusa last. Medusa's last when nobody else is alive, when
Dire's
Shad comes
middle
back
tower
up.
is under attack.
They've got the
back.
toss back into the team. BKB's been popping. They've already got the disarm. Stone Gaze, Soulbind, Swift Slash bouncing around. They've got the damage onto Boom. They'll get the kill onto the Queen of Pain, and now it's just Shad against the world. Jibbe, Spear, he ends up dead. He's got buyback. He'll use it immediately. Avalanche, toss, Shad. Now without mana, Abyssal Blade comes in. The right clicks through. Shad ends up dead. Full team wipe for 5 men, and they take Viking GG out of this tournament. 6 in a row for Viking GG in terms of losses.
Wow. I knew I didn't agree with the logo choice. God damn. This is... Yeah,
Time to
really
go
sad
back.
for Viking. And do you know what the worst thing about this game is? I actually think they had it in their hands as well. But
Yeah.
they just decided to stick around to farm a few neutral camps, and 5-men did a really good job of punishing them. Like, it was very 50-50. All it takes is one silly mistake where they just don't concentrate for like 5 seconds, and the game's over. So... I can't believe they tried to defend Megas there. I think you just have to accept that you're going to let them get Megas, and you wait for the Deucer to come back up again, and then you defend your tier 4s. But they